It's 10 o'clock, November 14th, 2021. Welcome to the weather update. We are going to look right now, get right to it. We have three confirmed, or actually six tornadoes in the tri-state area yesterday. This is a tornado outbreak. So we had a tornado outbreak in November, which is pretty crazy. So let's get to it. We'll start with the Nassau County tornado, and then we'll work our way east, looking at the statements from the Weather Service here that we have here. So right now, the overview is the National Weather Service completed a storm survey on this EF-0 tornado in Nassau County, and they found that a tornado briefly touched down in a few locations, so it hop-skipped, all right? It was the same tornado. It kind of went up into the cloud, then hop-skipped, and again, this is unusual. So the first report of a touchdown was in Woodmere, where several trees and power lines were down. From there, the tornado lifted and skipped in a few locations as it traveled nearly 50 miles an hour to the northeast toward Hempstead, Uniondale, and Levittown. Here, damage reports were sporadic, but in Uniondale, the tornado touched down again into a roof off a two-story colonial building on Liberty Street, which landed on a nearby house. Scattered debris, including shingles, insulation, and twisted siding, were thrown into the next block up, including the intersection of Emerson and Goodrich Street. Significant damage was also noted near Clover Lane in Levittown, where a large tree was felled onto a house before the tornado lifted. The National Weather Service wishes to thank everybody in the Nassau County Emergency Management. So here we go. EF-0, 85 mile an hour peak wind. Path length, 0.25 miles in summation, which is the entire length. So it was mainly in the cloud, and then it touched down a few times. Path width was 50 yards, and it started at 2:37 p.m. and Woodmere, and ended at 2:55 p.m. in Levittown. So very impressive to see this, and we're going to now go to the map and take a look at some of these areas that it hit. All right, so let's go to the map right now, and we will take a look at the map and see where this is. So this touchdown in Woodmere, it doesn't say where it was in Woodmere, but in Uniondale, a tornado touchdown, a colonial building on Liberty Street. So let's take a look at Liberty Street in Uniondale. This is where it's touchdown. So you can see how it moved from southwest to northeast. Liberty Street. It'll get very unusual to see this. This is Liberty Street. So a touchdown over in this area right here. Right over here, touchdown. And then from there, it moved northeastward and then touchdown again in Levittown. Almost east-northeastward. And the other area that it touched down to the other street is, let's see, and Clover Lane in Levittown. So Clover Lane in Levittown was another area that saw damage. Lane in Levittown. So over here is where it touched down. Right here. And somebody took a video of power lines down that was also in this area as well. This is Clover Lane in Levittown here. Yeah, a lot of trees around here. So this is where the tree came down. We don't know the exact address, but one of these big trees came down and smashed into a house. So that is the first tornado. Oh, but there are more tornadoes. Let's go to the next one, the EF-0 in East Islip. And I'm not even going to go over the ones in Connecticut, but there were three in Connecticut too. EF-0 tornado confirmed in East Islip. Longette National Weather Service team confirmed an EF-0 tornado in East Islip, an hour tornado of 50 yards, likely touched down at the southwestern end of Hollins Lane, and then continued northeast over Brushwood Court, Bayview Avenue, Josephine Lane, and then finally over K Court, before lifting over the John F. Kennedy Elementary School sport fields. A few dozen large oak, maple, and pine trees were uprooted and laying in a east or northeast direction. I wonder if they were pitch pines. We'll have to look at this area. Several trees were also snapped at the trunk and had large branches sheared off along this path. In addition, minor roof and siding damage was observed for several houses, as well as leaf splatter on the south and east sides of several houses. This tornadic circulation was likely on the northwest side of a 400-yard swath of 65 to 75 mile an hour west to southwest straight line winds, causing isolated large trees to be uprooted and several large limbs broken. As mentioned, the tornado likely lifted over the John F. Kennedy Elementary School sport fields, becoming a funnel cloud. This funnel cloud may have briefly touched down as a weak tornado in the Frog Lane and Jade Street area of Oakdale, resulting in a very large but partially rotted oak tree to topple onto and destroy a home. The funnel cloud was videotaped by the public looking southwest from, I haven't seen that yet, looking southwest from the Old Navy department store on Johnson Avenue, just north of Sunrise Highway. But no further damage was noted with this storm. And this is indicating EF0. So start time, start location, East Islip, Suffolk County, end location, Oakdale, Suffolk County. This was on November 13th, obviously yesterday. Estimated time, 3:20 to 3:22. EF0, 85 mile an hour maximum wind speed. Path length, 50 yards. Path length, 900 yards. So another tornado. This one, let's go to the maps now and look at this one and see where this one was. So let's see. It's Hollins Lane in East Islip. So let's now go to East Islip and look at this. This tornado is actually pretty interesting, actually, because it did. There was a funnel. I haven't seen any pictures yet of this funnel. Somebody said they took video of it. So let's look for Hollins Lane here. All right, Hollins Lane, East Islip. So right over here in this area is where it touched down. And then it moved. Oh, there's the John F. Kennedy School. So you see how it stayed on the ground. Then it lifted up somewhere over here. All right, so this is where it was, right in this area, right here. See a lot of large trees here. I don't know if I see any pitch pines here, but there are pitch pines present in the area. So there could be pitch pines around. So this is Hollins Lane, and then it moved northeastward. Go to this one right here. So it moved northeastward. Bayview Avenue, then over K Court before lifting. Okay, so and then the tornado lifted and then becoming a funnel cloud, and it may have touched down in the Frog and Jade Street area of Oakdale. So from here, went over here. This is John F. Kennedy School. And this is the area that it hit right over here, and you can see here. Really, this is around where it hit. It's actually a feeder line over here. Again, I don't know if it disrupted that because that carries power to Fire Island. It's I think 33 or 23 kV line there, but yeah, this is the area where it hit right around here. All right, and then it went by Jade Street in Oakdale. So it lifted up, and then it touched down again in Oakdale. This is Jade Street, Oakdale. Let's see who this is. So yeah, it went over in this area right here, and then briefly touched down again over here. So this is again pretty crazy stuff. This is the area that it touched down in. Okay, I don't know if there are any pines over here or not. But they said some pine trees, but they could have been white pines too. I see white pines. I like to think pitch pines could survive an EF0 tornado. Oh, but we're not done yet. We got one more tornado here on Long Island. The EF-1, and this was the stronger one that caused that major structural damage and the roof getting ripped off that Chipotle in Shirley. So this one here, this is the damage survey for this tornado. National Weather Service Storm Survey Team confirms an EF1 tornado in Shirley, New York. So they confirmed the EF1 tornado likely touched down just southeast of Francine Place and Mastic Boulevard, traveling east-northeast along the Long Island Railroad tracks and adjacent backyards. Numerous oak, maple, and pine trees were uprooted laying in a northerly direction. Several trees, now in that area, they're probably pitch pines. Several trees were also snapped at the trunk and had large branches sheared off along this path. In addition, minor roof and siding damage was observed for several houses, as well as leaf splatter on south and east sides. The damaged swath at this point was only about 25 yards wide. The tornado then hooked northeast over the Lidl supermarket. So, that was formerly a Pathmark, I believe, southwestern corner of the shopping center complex, flipping over a 5-ton air handler unit on the roof before tearing off the parapet and collapsing the covered walkway of the Chipotle Mexican Grill on this northeast corner of the shopping center. Damage path remained about 25 yards, but damage was consistent with EF winds of 95 to 105 miles an hour. Public video showed the apparent tornadic circulation lifting northeast across the intersection of William Floyd Parkway and Montauk Highway toward the Applebee's shopping center, with debris being thrown in one direction and then another. Siding and shingles from the Chipotle were then thrown northeast about 250 yards across this intersection and into the Applebee's shopping center. Other than the debris, some small trees were uprooted in the parking lot and laying to the northeast, and flashing was ripped off the south side of the Applebee's and unoccupied adjacent retail store. The tornadic circulation may have briefly lifted at this point, with about a 50-yard swath of 65 to 75 miles an hour straight line winds across this shopping center. The tornadic circulation then touched down again to the northeast of the Applebee's shopping center, lifting the entire roof off a two-story multifamily residence on the corner of Grand Avenue and McGraw Street. The roof was tossed as far as 150 yards to the north into the backyard of neighboring houses to the north of on Grand Avenue. One section of this roof actually impaled itself onto the side of the neighboring house to the north and made such a strong impact that it skewed the vertical structure of that house. Based on the extent of the structural damage to these houses, an adjacent 50-yard of uprooted, snapped, and sheared large trees, the damage was consistent with an EF-1 around 110 miles an hour. The tornado strength likely peaked at this point. The entirety of the EF-1 tornadic damage path to the southwest and northeast of Montauk Highway is around a quarter of a mile. The tornado would then make its way north across Sunrise Highway, skipping its way northeast for the next 4.5 miles, with areas of damage consistent with an EF-0 on its path and continued northeast through Brookhaven Calabro Airport, flipping over or shifting a few small single-engine planes. Thereafter, it moved northeast toward Pancho Drive, Titmus Drive, Abbott Avenue, and Bernie Boulevard, just to the east-northeast of the airport. Several large trees were uprooted, trunks snapped, or branches sheared in an approximately 50-yard path, with accompanying minor roof, siding, and fencing damage in the area. The tornado likely skipped north to the intersection of Barnes Roads and Mauritius Middle Island Road with a small area of additional tree damage, before making a final nearly mile-long 50-yard wide tornado damage path northeast across Forston Circle, Eagle Lane, Nestledown Avenue, Wading River Road, Tupelo Street, and then to the intersection of Celius Woods Roads and South Street before finally lifting. Several dozen large, hard, and softwood trees were uprooted and laying in a northerly to northeasterly direction as compared to the east-northeast direction of the storm movement. In addition, numerous tree tops were sheared and tree trunks snapped, with minor roof, siding, and fencing damage observed for numerous houses along this path. A large camper north-south facing camper on Tupelo Drive was rolled onto its side. The described 50-yard convergent tornadic damage pattern was consistent with an EF-0 tornado with 85-mile-an-hour winds, and was flanked to the southeast by a 500-yard path of scattered tree and power line damage and minor structural damage consistent with 65 to 75-mile-an-hour southwesterly straight line winds. So, star location Shirley, Suffolk County, end location Manorville in Suffolk County. Started at approximately 3:42 p.m. and lasted till 3:50 p.m. EF-1 rating tornado, maximum wind speed 110 miles an hour, path width 50 yards, path length 3.5 miles. So that was the big one. Of course, the big one is hitting the Pine Barrens. So let's see. We're gonna go to the maps now and figure out where this is, because this was in. So we're gonna go here. I know the area where that it's in. So. This is Shirley right here. So this is the area it started, right over here. Railroad tracks. This is the Lidl, I believe, right over here. There's the Chipotle. So this is the shopping center right here with the Lidl. So this is where, around the railroad tracks, there is a major feeder line for power that may have been knocked out. Like I said, it's this line right here. I believe this is a 23 kilovolt feed right here. This serves the whole area, so this is probably why a large area, if this was damaged, if the tree went onto this line, it would have caused a major power outage. I'm not sure if that line was knocked out, but you clearly see that it went along here and knocked down a lot of trees, unfortunately. This is the shopping center that it hit right here, and there are pine trees actually in back of this shopping center, a whole bunch of them. big pitch pines that may have been knocked down by this. I like to think the pines were not knocked down, but they assume, this was an EF-1 tornado, so it's that kind of tornado is going to knock down most trees. And then it hit right in the shopping center right here. And the Chipotle was right over here. So this is the Chipotle right here. It was right in this. Let's see if we can find it. Right over here is Dollar Tree. This was a best market. This is an old image. Chipotle may not have been open yet at this time. But this is the shopping center that was affected. And then it went across. And Applebee's somewhere over here. Yeah, Applebee's. So it moved over here. Then it crossed Sunrise Highway over here. And we'll go back to this right here. We'll get to this one. So this is the one here. Cross Sunrise Highway right here. Let's see. Tornado lifted at this point, and then touchdown once again to the northeast of the Owl, lifting the entire roof off a 2-story multifamily residence, Grand Avenue and McGraw Street. So let's go Grand Avenue and McGraw Street. Here's Grand Avenue, and can't find McGraw Street. Let's see. Maybe it's the south side. Yeah, over here. So this is the residence that was affected here. So it lifted the roof off this multifamily. Yeah, this is an apartment building right here. So it lifted the roof off that apartment building. And then it continued across Sunrise Highway. And let's see. Crossed, and then it's cross Sunrise, skipping its way northeast. There's a damage consistent, so it continued, basically skipped this whole area: Poncho Drive, Titmus Drive, and Birdie Boulevard. So it went this whole area here. This is the airport right here, where it flipped some planes, and Titmus, yes, Poncho. This is one of the streets. So this whole neighborhood here was affected here. So this whole neighborhood here was affected. And it continued across Mauritius Middle Island Road and died out somewhere in the Pine Barrens over here. South Street. What's this, North Street? There's South Street. So it died out somewhere over here. But, I mean, this is incredible. Tornadoes in the Pine Barrens are absolutely nuts. To say the least. But this is, again, the area where it went through. I mean, this stuff's supposed to happen in New Jersey, not here. But there you go. It's some of it. And then there were other tornadoes, too. We go back over here. There was an EF0 in Branford, an EF0 in Chester, and EF0 in Stonington, Connecticut, that we're not going to talk about. But, absolutely crazy. I don't know if they have any pictures of any of the damage reports. But again, very impressive to see all this. Let's just open up another and see if they have any pictures of the damage here. I don't think they have any pictures here. Oh, I don't think they have any pictures. We do have Patch, though, which has some pictures. All right, so let's get to Patch right now. And so these are some of the pictures from Levittown here of the trees down. Levittown. And let's see, second tornado confirmed. Here's a picture of what happened in East Islip. Tree went down. I don't know if it affected that upper level there, but if it did, that would have knocked out power to Fire Island, or at least been a problem for Fire Island, because that's one of the feeders for Fire Island there on top. That's the street in East Islip that we were showing you. And here we go. Possible visual. That may be it right there. Let's see if we see a funnel cloud here. I noticed that too, the birds like flying like that around here too. That's a sign. When you see birds flying like that, oh yeah, right there, right here, look at that. There's the funnel. Yep, clearly see it right there. This is crazy.
I'll let you know after.
Absolutely nuts.
Bye.
That's it right there. This is the one in East Islip now that we're looking at. Man. And here's some more pictures. West Sayville fired up. This is Sayville. This is some of the damage here. So let's see if we can get some Shirley Let's see if Shirley has any more information here. A tornado did touch down in Shirley. So again, here are the pictures of some of the damage here in Shirley. I'd like to see some more pictures of that, because that EF-1 looked pretty impressive. So we're going to definitely be talking about this in the following weather update even more. Probably I'll try to get some more images of the Shirley one, or maybe I'll put another video up of it. But anyway, let's get to our weather. We have this clipper system moving through. Light rain now is in our area. And we'll be dealing with some of this light rain, maybe occasionally moderate, but it's mainly just going to be light for the next several hours or so through the early morning hours. Let's look at our current conditions outside. We've got temperatures in the upper 40s, generally a little warmer out east, temperatures near 50. We're dealing with mid-40s here. And winds generally from the west, some wind gusts up to 26 miles an hour. Let's look at what our highs were today. They were pretty cool. We'll look at our high temperatures today. Oh, you know what I got to also do is go through the storm reports too. So, yeah, we'll have to go back to that. So temperatures are around 50 degrees. I'll go to it through it at the end of the video. So 50 degrees was the high, to upper 40s to around 50 across much of our area today. A little cooler in Jersey. I guess they had some more clouds, upper 40s there. So let's go to the models, and we're going to just cover this briefly through this week here. So we have this one clipper moving through. It's basically high pressure and a northwest flow all day. So we're going to have high pressure building in, northwest flow tomorrow and Tuesday, and then high moves offshore. We get a return flow Wednesday, so Thursday warm up again. Cold front comes through, and it cools down again by the weekend with another high coming through. So pretty progressive pattern. Things are moving along, and the temperatures will stay on the cool side. So looking at this model here, you'll see here that tomorrow we'll have highs. Lows at night generally around 40, highs in the upper 40s tomorrow. At night, dropping into the low to mid 30s, and highs in the mid 40s again on Tuesday. Wednesday, you start to see a little bit of a warm up occurring. Cooler on Long Island. I'm wondering if that's due to a southeast flow or cloud cover. So let me look at the dew points here. I don't know why it has it so much cooler on Long Island. Perhaps it's not bringing the warmer. It has it warming up over parts of Jersey, but we would still be only around 50 on Wednesday, according to that. And it's Thursday we really warm up, and we got break out into the low to mid 60s ahead of that cold front. Cold front comes through, and then Friday we're back into the mid 40s again. So, and then the weekend mid 40s pretty much. All right. Let's look at our skies and our chances for precipitation. So let's first go to the skies, and I'll use the RGEM for the skies. And this is the 0 RGEM model that I have most of it in. So let's look at tomorrow. So you'll see here, we'll have plenty of these clouds around tonight. Clears out a little bit for sunrise. Then we have more of these clouds build in the afternoon tomorrow. It looks like it's mostly more over Long Island and maybe some over Jersey, maybe a little more sun in New Jersey. And then Tuesday, we'll have a nice, mostly sunny day. Tuesday will be the day that'll feature more sunshine. Tomorrow, I think we'll have a good deal of clouds around. At least partly sunny conditions. The other thing that we'll do, go to the HRRR, we'll look at our precipitation chances for tomorrow, because there's a slight chance after the rain tonight that we could see a couple of small pop-up showers tomorrow develop, particularly in the 14Z, so I guess around like 9, 10 o'clock, a couple of small pop-up showers, and then that clears on out. And then we could have a couple of scattered sprinkles or maybe even a flurry. It's just because this air mass is kind of unstable. You'll notice the tight isobar, so we'll have a pretty strong westerly wind tomorrow as well. But anyway, let's get back to these storm reports here, because we're still not done yet. We got to go through these local storm reports here. Summary of these. Hail being reported in New Jersey in a lot of areas. We had hail reports in the city, in Queens, in Westchester. Here's your tornado in Woodmere. Tornado. Hail of 1.50 inch in Uniondale. So they have all the tornadoes here that we just covered here. Here's your tornado in Connecticut, EF0, uprooting trees in Branford, which is in New Haven County. Thunderstorm wind damage in Middlesex County, Connecticut. Wind damage around the Peconic River, trees on wires on Old Country Road. southeast of Hampton Bays. Trees down on Prospect Avenue in Hampton Bays. Trees down on Ponquag Avenue in Hampton Bays. 71 mile an hour marine wind gust at, it just says Montauk Highway. I guess this is, I'm saying Mecox Bay. So we have thunderstorm wind damage in Connecticut here. This is the other tornado in Connecticut. That was an EF-1 with 90 miles an hour. Winds, Stonington. Several trees uprooted. Thunderstorm wind damage in Greenwich Village. Light pole blowdown. I think we talked about that yesterday. Atlantic Beach wind gusts to 60 miles an hour. And we had 79 mile an hour wind gusts to East Mauritius. Thunderstorm wind damage in Spionk. Wind damage in New London. Wind damage in Shelter Island. Poles down. Tree down on Willow Lane in Shelter Island. 56 mile an hour wind gust in Plum Island. And thunderstorm wind damage in East Hampton with trees and wires down. And a wind gust to 56 miles an hour at East Hampton. So just a ton of reports. It's just crazy. So we'll have more for you when I get more information, show you some more pictures. But that's going to wrap up this weather update. Thanks for watching.